Welcome to episode 10 of the movie Lighthouse, shining a light through the fog of film. My name's James.
And I'm Wyndham.
Okay, alright, so Laurie's not here at the moment. And
he's gone to prison.
Yes, he's finally been convicted, thankfully. No, unfortunately, I've got a bit of a confession to make.
What's that, James?
Well, we met the other day to record the podcast, which was blinding, by the way.
It was amazing.
Probably
easily our best ever.
Best one we've ever done.
Yeah.
And I got home and half of it didn't record.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
So I am frantically trying to fix this by meeting up with my co-lighthouses. Is that
co-keepers?
Co-keepers. Co-lighthouse keepers to rectify this problem. So I'm here with Wyndham today. Sorry about that, Wyn.
That's all right, no problem. I mean, I've used up all of my best material first time round, though, so I can't even remember the film. I have a limited mental capacity to remember these things. And the second we stop talking about this, I stop remembering it.
It's just wiped from your hard drive.
It could be a very brief review,
Well,
so which is the film that didn't record?
Well, just before we get onto that, I thought we'd quickly mention our In the Beams. Mm-hmm. So,
yes.
I didn't have one.
This won't take very long. No,
so what was the thing that you saw recently that you really liked?
With this, So still lots of building work going on at home. So we're still without a TV, so I haven't really watched very much. But the night before
Christmas,
we originally recorded this, I thought I can't turn up with nothing again. So I went onto Now TV and pretty much watched the first thing I came across, with a view that it would either be in my beam or on the rocks. And I'm still not 100% certain which one it falls in. But it's a film called The Night Watchman.
Right. I feel like I've heard about this.
Have you?
Yeah.
This is really going to be deja vu. I think it's a Sky original, which is always slightly concerning. But basically, it is a film about 4 night watchmen who are the security guards within a newspaper building. And the film starts with some news reports about a troupe of clowns mysteriously dying in Romania. And they're Blimpo, I think the head clown is, and their bodies are shipped back to the US for a suitable burial. For whatever reason, one of them gets delivered to the loading bay of this building, and very shortly after you find out that Blimpo has actually been turned into a zombie vampire. And the rest of the film is these 4 people trying to escape the building and rid the world of this troupe of vampire clowns, vampire zombie clowns.
So even now, hearing it for the second time, I'm even more interested in watching this film. It's got everything I'm after. Vampire zombie clowns. It's amazing.
And it doesn't take itself seriously at all. So watching it, it's undeniably a bit naff, but it knows it's being naff, and it's really mindful of it, and it drops loads of obvious gags about it. But as much as I wanted to as I'd earmarked it within the first 10 minutes of being on the rocks, it kept making me laugh. And they kind of go, well, hey, look, and it's only 75 minutes as well, so that probably tells you the quality. They didn't have enough to make it 90, but it's just a ridiculous 75 minutes watching.
Even better. Another horror film springs to mind, which is very short. I think it's only about 70 minutes long, and it's called The Ginger Dead Man, and it's about a serial killer who falls into a vat of cookie dough and comes back.
The Ginger Dead Man. Oh, very good.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a bit bigoted against ginger people, but it's not.
No.
I've gone too literal.
Yeah, and I don't think we can do that anymore.
What's that? Hate ginger people?
Yeah.
No, quite right. We should.
Yeah, not quite right. Yeah, I'm not saying we should.
My beard is quite predominantly ginger at times, so
not really.
And with the sun behind me, I have like an auburn halo.
Yeah, but you're not ginger.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know anyone. Well, I've got a few people.
I actually don't know any gingers. I know a lot of strawberry blondes.
But it's just,
self-professed strawberry blondes, to be honest.
Anyway, right, brilliant. Right. So let's get on the rocks.
Okay.
So I'll kick off, because my on the rocks was Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Now, Laurie hates that film as well, doesn't he?
He absolutely despises it. Look, I just thought it was cliche-ridden. I loved the first 2, and I watched this kind of with an open mind, because I had the box set, got it from a charity shop, and I just thought that the opening was dull. There was nothing new that I hadn't seen before. If I saw Harrison Gurn and do his, indie face another time, it was making me sick. So, not keen.
I don't feel passionate about this at all. I imagine when you discuss this with Laurie,
Yeah,
you might have a slightly more heated discussion.
Yeah, so I'll bring it up again with him. But yeah, that was my choice for that.
And the only thing I'd say about it is it's not as bad as Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull or whatever that one was.
Right, okay.
That is truly diabolical.
With Shia the Beef.
That is Shia the Cow, yeah.
Shia the Cow, is that the literal translation?
In my head. My linguistic skills are limited.
Did you have an On the Rocks?
I didn't, no. I literally, well, unless you want to put The Night Watchman on the rocks as well. But
I don't think so.
I think it's a bit too funny to be on the rocks.
I'm definitely going to check that out.
Yeah, cool.
Definitely. All right, so we're going to get on to our feature presentation, which is Critters.
Yeah.
So, before we get into it, let's have a clip.
Of all the planets in the galaxy, they chose ours. They hide in small places.
This phone is dead.
What?
They light the dark.
Jay, any luck?
Just a minute.
There's nothing cute about them. They've come a long way, and they're hungry.
Let's talk about first memories for this, because this is a film that's very close to my heart.
Go on.
I was obsessed with Gremlins and all that kind of stuff, and I was a big fan of the take-home, rent-a-movie, from your local shop thing.
Yeah, so this would have come out when it was 1988?
Yeah, I should give you a few facts about it, actually.
I'm feeling uninformed.
All right, so the facts are, it was released in 86, director Stephen Herek, a screenplay by Dominic Muir. It made $2 million at the box office. Notable actors Dee Wallace, Scott Grimes, and an appearance by a young Billy Zane.
With a ponytail.
Yeah, and there were 3 sequels, all of diminishing
And they're talking about another one,
returns.
aren't they?
Yes. So
do I know that because we've already done this?
Yes.
Ah, right. Sorry. Stealing your thunder.
I was excited and disappointed because we've got a sequel coming, but it's going to be like they're releasing it in 10-minute chunks onto the internet. So it's very much going to be the Muppet Show with Critters, I think. but yeah, just to get back to when I saw this. So this was deep in the heart of the 80s, and my mother had no idea about horror. I don't think she had any concept of it. So therefore, I would go with her to the video shop and choose anything I wanted to watch.
It was definitely that time when the video shop was just this cavern of wonders.
Yes.
You'd walk in and there'd just be these amazing video covers, and Critters had a brilliant cover.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, I do. I remember the video cover.
How was it?
Well, it's just one massive angry critter.
Right. Yes.
With Critters written on the top, and that's all you really need to know. Is it's on a kind of a farm. It looks like it's on a farm somewhere in America. Massive, furry, pointy teeth, red eyes. I'm into this. This is going to be cool. And so because I chose this when the invasion theme came up.
Yes.
This was one of my choices.
Thankfully, because it is an invasion movie.
Yeah. Thank you. And I picked it because I had very fond memories of it. And then on watching it, it slowly dawned on me that I had never seen it before. And I think it was one of those things that every time we went to the video store, whereas your mother wasn't particularly aware of horror and you could get whatever you wanted, my mum was very aware of age certification.
Oh, really?
And I was younger than... I only think this is a 15 thing.
Yes, I think so.
But I was younger than 15, she wouldn't let me hire it. So the other week was the first time I saw it. And I think it suffers, in my opinion, because I'm now 42.
I'm glaring at you now because I completely disagree. Because this
you love it.
Everything, it was sat on a farm. Snap, that was me. There was a young guy in it who was really cool. Snap, bang, that was me as well.
Did you run around blowing stuff up on your farm?
Not really.
So
I would have liked to have blown up the farm, in fairness, but I never really got the opportunity. But yeah, I
the sister who bullied you
all the time. She stuck a garden fork in my head once, but that's another story.
Wow.
Yeah. So
we need to get on to some Stephen King.
Anyway, look. Watching it again, I was very excited, and I realised when I was watching it that I had seen this film a lot.
How many's a lot?
At least over 20 times, because I knew every single thing that was coming up in this film. Although I was a little bit surprised at the shocking sci-fi at the start. which was, trying to be a little bit Star Wars.
That completely threw me. That was my first inkling that I hadn't seen it before.
And you
because
had that
all I
alien
knew
gliding along, but only in one shot.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
The only shot they
It was
could
too
afford.
expensive,
Then you just saw it all for the waste up afterwards.
Yeah, and for me, that was the first inkling I hadn't seen it, because I was expecting it all to be on a farm. I was expecting it all to be
quite a lot of it was on a farm.
And it was.
Fairness,
So it's about an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
And it just, for me, because I came to it so much later than you, it just felt like it went on forever before you saw a critter.
Absolutely.
And it's probably worth covering what the whole point of it is. Yeah, I was just saying, this is probably worth covering what the film is actually about, synopsis of the film. It starts off with like a magistrate, I guess you'd say, maybe, or an intergalactic magistrate who is overseeing the transportation of 10 Crites. And they take over their transport vessel and steal another vessel and fly to Earth. The magistrate dude who's hovering around in one shot on like a space chair dispatches 2 bounty hunters to Earth to go and get them, and then they land on Earth in this old farm in the Midwest, and insanity ensues.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it felt to me that it took forever to get to. And it didn't. It took half an hour, which is a normal setup time.
We have talked about this, and I disagree with this, because I thought it set up everything really well, and I thought the characters were fantastic. I mean, let's talk a little bit about Brad Brown, the kid.
Yeah, he was good.
It was amazing.
He was good,
really well pitched. He wasn't he was all American kid, but he wasn't too annoying. He wasn't too over the top.
Yeah, and we had difference of opinions last time on how good the performances were.
I don't think you and me have difference of opinions, but I think the rogue element here is Laurie.
Although I do disagree with you on this film, predominantly.
Well, you did then. I think this time round you're going to score it much better.
Well, actually, I've dumped this from my brain, so you could just be filling me with your opinion. I thought he was very good, actually. The kid who played the kid,
absolutely,
was very good.
All right, so
the others were all a bit. Oh, the mother was.
Yeah, I thought the mother was good. Let's talk a little bit about Billy Zane.
Yes. Well, why wouldn't we want to talk about Billy Zane?
and his ponytail.
He's I thought he was going to be much sleazier than he was, because he's like a city kid who turns up in a Porsche.
Yeah.
In this Midwest farm.
But again, very likeable.
Yeah, he was, and he didn't want to take advantage of the daughter, who in this film wanted to be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And he was being respectful and respected
so
the farmer.
Sending a good message out there.
Said thank you for a lovely hearty meal. It's good manners.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Terrible hair.
Yeah.
Can't go around with a ponytail.
Some wonderful lines in there. Jay, there's something wrong with the TV. This phone is dead. I think they're 2 different lines, actually.
I was going to say I don't remember that at all, but that would have been... That's like a Ghostbusters. Listen, you smell something?
Well, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the shots with Laurie, I think.
Okay, yeah, because I don't know about that. Yeah.
So I think we should just score it.
Yeah, let's go to the score.
Okay. All right, so, performances, I gave it an 8.
I gave it 4.
4?
Yeah, they weren't as good as you thought they were.
Effects. Right, now, for the time, think about for the time.
Yeah, happy with the time.
9.
No, 5.
Oh, come on.
So, I think it's just because they ran out of budget. So the first time the first bounty hunter changes, he turns into the Tommy,
which is an amazing effect.
Tommy Steele, somebody else. That's a really good effect, but they evidently used all their money, because the second one didn't change that way. He just kind of went from being
it did, you just didn't see it.
Oh.
It was just off camera. You've got to use your imagination.
Yeah, 5.
Plot.
4.
9. Come on. It was a great story.
Alright.
Okay, rewatch factor.
2.
Oh, right, well, as I said earlier, I've watched it over 20 times,
so this
I've given it I've given it an 8.
What? How many times does you have to watch something for it to get a 10?
Well, I've watched the Rocky Horror Show over 100 times.
Genuine surprise there.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Still only gets 2 from me.
Movie Lighthouse, we're supposed to be film experts.
Who said... Oh, was that the premise?
No, we're not film experts. Do not do it for libel. Right, direction. 9. Oh, Wyndham.
It's a big... We're about half. I'm about half of your scores for most of these.
Cinematography. 8. 4. Well, I saw that one. Sound of Music, I gave it a 5.
I gave it a 5 as well.
Only for that rock song, though.
What was it? The Power of the Night.
Yes.
Yeah.
I might try and put
Johnny
a bit
Steele.
in. I'm going to put a little bit in there.
And he looks like a young Tim Curry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Originality. 9.
4.
Enjoyability.
I gave it a 5.
I gave it a 9.
Of course you did.
A life-changing past and present. Well, it changed my life 20 times over, so I gave it an 8.
Well, it got a 0 for me because I've come to it at 42.
You're a loser. Well, listen, I'm going to go and do this all again with Laurie now.
Okay.
And
do you want to know my score? My total?
yes, please.
It's 37. It's low.
Mine is 82.
Which is high.
Yeah.
So
if we
Laurie
add it
comes
together,
in the middle.
It's over average, which is great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks very much.
You're very welcome.
And,
Let's not do this again, though, right?
Never again.
This is recording, right?
Definitely.
Good.
See you later.
All right, mate. Cheers.
Okay, so I am sat here with Laurie to do part 2 of the fiasco, which I kind of explained to Wyndham.
Have you seen out the window? Look at that. It's like some strange sort of vortex, parallel kind of universe. Like this was before, but after. It's all very strange.
It's very strange. We don't know if we're living in the past or the future,
Yeah.
or just an alternate reality.
What happens if we hear our future selves?
Oh my God, we might.
Shit goes down.
Yeah, we might explode.
Shit, well, I'm drawing the curtains. Done.
All
Right.
right, so we are going to start with your in the beam choice.
Oh, crikey, can I remember it? Blimey, okay, I need to put my mind into the future again. It's The Witch That Came From the Sea.
Yes.
So this is a film I'd never heard of, and you went, "Yeah, I'll check this out."
Yeah.
You slipped it over to me. So it's basically Arrow. They make sort of specialise in DVDs, specialising in sort of the old cult sort of horror films, and the more sort of obscure sort of
Yeah, we're not talking Hammer
video
horror here,
nasty.
are we?
Yeah.
But we're not talking Hammer horror.
No, we're talking like video nasty,
Yes.
like sort of videotape generation 80s films. Films, like Evil Dead, From Beyond.
Brilliant films, all of them.
Yeah, Suspiria, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Really, really good stuff to look at, actually. So the Arrow DVD releases, you always get a really good front cover. Anyway, so yeah, you slipped that over to me, and I was like, okay, all right, I'll check it out. So The Witch That Came From the Sea, I believe early 70s, something like that.
Yeah.
Kind of a film you'd never see nowadays. There's disturbing stuff about it in there, but it's just very, very profoundly unique. You start off watching it, it's like, is this some sort of low-grade kind of porno?
Yes.
Kind of deal?
Certainly has a porn quality to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised, actually, maybe the people in the production of it, the camera man and all that kind of stuff, they probably had, their background within that field of filmmaking. But so early scene, she's sat on the beach, this lady who is our protagonist, and she looks over to some hot guys working out on Muscle Beach. Then some crazy shit goes down, and it just gets more and more interesting from there. So it's unique and worth a watch.
I think unique's a really good word for it, because you just don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And where it does go is rewarding.
Yes, I like it very much.
I feel quite bad for her, but it's good film. Good film.
Excellent. And did you have an On the Rocks choice?
On the Rocks. Oh, okay. So in the future, I am sparse of On the Rocks stuff. So I may.
You could always choose
Go on.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Absolute freaking moron. Right. So you've put that on the rocks, right?
I certainly have.
Okay. You're completely wrong.
Am I really?
You're profoundly wrong. Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's the one.
Yes.
Temple of Doom. It's good, but it's not so good.
Raiders is the first one,
Crusade is brilliant. It's great. Not as great as Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah,
no, Raiders of the Lost Ark is just fantastic.
Yeah. But Last Crusade is great. I remember, so it came out in the cinema, and I was just the right age to run down and watch it with my pals and stuff. And I loved it. It's funny. It keeps on going. Harrison Ford's doing his bit. Sean's doing his bit.
I had to go to see Superman 4 about that age, I think.
Oh, right, okay.
Very disappointing.
River Phoenix does his bit,
What bit does he do? Oh, yes.
The origins of... Now, this is actually... So you was grilling my arse. We had a little solo break-off bonus track, didn't we?
We did.
You got really angry with me saying about... I can't talk to you about this because you're just completely in love with the franchise and you can't see anything wrong with it. I've thought a little bit more about this. So the origins of Indy is explained in 15 minutes?
Yes.
How he gets the skull, how he gets the whip, how he gets the hat. And then Solo essentially is a whole film dedicated to pretty much kind of similar kind of thing. But the failing of it is what you've got in A New Hope, Han Solo is in it for himself. Yeah? So when you get to that point, the rebels are going to go off and attack the Death Star. Han's got his money.
Spoiler alert.
Oh shit. Sorry, guys. Well, anyway, Han makes a decision, all right?
Yeah.
Contentious decision. He's going to take the money and he goes.
He does.
Because that's his character.
Yes.
You think, okay, he's a shit. But then, obviously Luke's in a bit of shtuck. Darth Vader's, I have him now, that bit. And then, pow, then we get the Millennium Falcon. Oh, Han's actually a good guy. So there you've got that. But whereas now, you go back, and if a kid was coming to this franchise and watched them in order, they'd be watching Solo before A New Hope, and they'd be like, Han's obviously going to come back. There's no chance he's going to run off with the money, because I already know he's a good guy. So that is
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
Bit of a,
but that's the problem with all like prequels and stuff like that. They're always going to retcon a lot of things that have happened.
Yeah.
But
he does shoot first, though. To be fair.
Yeah, he does. Have you heard that they've said they're pausing these standalone films?
No.
Yeah, apparently
really?
so. Yeah, because you didn't go to the cinema enough to see it.
Oh yeah, I did actually want to go a few more times, but.
Yeah, well, you've blown it for everyone else, so I hope you're happy.
Well, no, maybe it's cool. Maybe it's cool. It can calm down for a little bit.
Well, possibly, but it did set up a lot of interest. I would have been very interested to see the next film because you obviously have the Hutts involved in the next one, and that would be quite good. I tell you what, I chanced upon Phantom Menace the other day. It was on ITV3, as it usually is every day. I quite like that film.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't dislike it. I mean, there's way too...
It's the most palatable of the three, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think their worst mistake, I think we should have seen Anakin as a teenager.
In the first one?
Yes.
Right, yeah.
So he's not an annoying little brat, but he's somebody who's like a bit bad-tempered and very good at what he does, a bit arrogant.
Could have been more in... Yeah, you're right. It would have read better, been more intriguing.
Yes. And, he's too young to fall in love with Padme. That's weird.
Yeah. Didn't you do that, though? I did that.
Yeah, but...
the older... Alison,
I suppose what's
Alison
weird is
Hanway.
they actually got together.
Yeah.
And what else?
Pod Racing's good. Darth Maul's really good.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I
Stop talking about it.
I thought Liam Neeson's good.
Yeah. Oh, but are we going to recommend people to go and watch that? No. Movie Like listeners, if you get into the Star Wars stuff, actually watch it, check it out. But way, way over and above any of that, and definitely on par with these standalone films, is the Clone Wars. And I had a problem with it because obviously it looked like kiddie stuff.
Yes.
Once you get into that, there's some great stories. Obviously, what the guys that were making the Clone Wars, they kind of realised Lucas made a bit of a balls up. And they, from the bad stuff that they've got, they make some really, really cool, interesting stories in there. Wonderful stuff. The way that Darth Maul comes back, obviously you get the end of Solo. Probably quite a brave decision from Disney just to put him in there, because loads of people might not have seen the Clone Wars, and loads of people haven't. They would have been like, "What? He just got chopped in half, didn't he?" But if you've watched this stuff, it's in the journey of that character, him coming back, and all that stuff. It would make perfect sense, and it was wonderful. But yeah, the Clone Wars actually, so definitely worth looking at if you are not fatigued by it all.
I would like very much to see a cartoon based on Darth Vader. So from the moment he becomes Darth Vader at the end of
being a
the third one, and how he gets used to it. I know there's a comics series, book series at the moment.
Yes, there is,
which is very good. I haven't read it, but I've read the synopsis for everyone. And it's all about him and Tarkin's relationship, which is quite good. I don't want to see Peter Cushing brought to life again by the power of computers, but I wouldn't mind seeing him.
I think you probably
in animation.
Oh, in animation. Oh, right. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, sort of a softer, looser kind of thing. Yeah, that's cool. Anyway, we mustn't do any more Star Wars. Come on.
Right. So let's get to the meat of it. We are going to talk about Critters. Right. So Your son watched it.
Right, okay. Obviously, I grew up, videotape had arrived.
Yes.
Yeah, Betamax didn't quite hit it, but then we had VHS. We had the Video Man. So film was a massive thing for me. As I should imagine was for you, and as for a generation. So it would always be that time you go down to the video store, or the Video Man will turn up in his car, and you flip open the bag. Where's all the cool gear? And sometimes the cool gear's out. It's rented. I'm just trying to think about what would be that exact one.
Well, Nightmare on Elm Street would have been up there. But Schwarzenegger. So Total Recall would have probably been in there.
That's a bit later.
It is a bit later, wasn't it?
Yeah. So we're young. So my son's 8. All right. So I'm running to the back of the, Video Man's thingy. Like, oh shit! All the cool ones are out. And I know, it's the front cover, isn't it? That's always kind of like the charm.
Yes.
And Critters was one that had a really cool front cover.
Can you describe it to the listener?
It's hand painted.
Yeah.
When they used to do that.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful hand painting. It's probably not done by the hand of the most talented of artists, but you've just got to you've got a full on cheeky blue. He could actually be a giant, couldn't he? Because they do actually grow big.
Yes.
I need to look at that image again. Maybe he's taller than my mind thinks he is. I think it's a massive critter looking at you with loads of teeth, smiling. So that, if I was 8, that would have been the one I would have picked and gone, let's check this out. But to be honest, I think when it came out, I was a bit older than that, because this was a few years after Gremlins, wasn't it? Sort of tied into...
It was a year after Gremlins, I think, wasn't it?
Something like that.
I will confer to my notes.
Yeah. But where am I going with all this 8-year-old stuff?
1986. Gremlin was 1984.
Right. Okay. So a good couple of years after.
They probably watched Gremlins and went, "Oh, we've got to make something like this shit."
Yeah. These guys love little dickheads running around. So yeah, I was like, it was actually at Christmas time when we were like doing stocking fillers. And I always want my boy and my girl, when she gets older, she's 3. All right, fair enough. I'll spare her for a little bit. However, she's watched Gremlins and she's watched E.T. and
she loves E.T.
Never Ending Story. Yeah, it's one of her favourite films.
Brilliant. Never Ending Story.
Oh,
yeah, nice. Yeah. How about Dark Crystal?
I don't think she's seen that yet. So yeah, I'm a big one. I was like, could Critters be on Roman's menu now? Screw it. So yeah, I let him watch it. Well, let him watch it. Made him watch it. I made him watch it.
Was he on the edge of his seat?
No, he was laying down. It was quite a hot day. It's been very hot. So he's been laying down.
Was he nervous while watching it?
I didn't think so, but on chatting to him about it, and I think I do have the interview if I send it to you, see if there's anything in it. But he went on to kind of explain there's some bits that disturbed him. All right, so what did you think?
I thought it was a pretty good film. But if you're young, I don't really recommend it.
You don't recommend it for what? So what age would you say is the youngest you can really watch it?
If your parents allow it, maybe like 8, 9.
Okay, all right. What did you like about it?
I liked all of like how they made the ship work and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. What would you give it out of 10?
I'd probably give it about a 6 or 7.
6 or 7?
And a half.
And a half. Okay, so is it 6 and 7 or 6 and a half?
6 and a half.
6 and a half.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Thanks for that. But yeah, so the eating the guts out stuff, I think is the way he described it. And the big, really great effect in this one, actually, the metamorphosis, when the bounty hunters decide to adopt a facial image, you got this sort of melting mush.
Yeah, so how did they do that, do you reckon?
I reckon that is a really well sculptured skeleton, skull, and then you've got layers of wax on top of it. And they've heated it up and slowly melted it down and then put other sort of effects and smokes on it. But it looks brilliant. It's kind of similar to like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know, when the horrible, really horrible Nazi, farty face one that burns his hand when his face melts.
Yeah, there's also a very good scene in Dragonfire in Doctor Who, which wasn't a very good story really, but at the end, Kane melts and they used exactly the same technique.
Yeah,
it's really good effect.
It stands up, and that obviously affected Roman. And why is that it affected him? It's because it's got a sort of realness to it. It's not a CGI effect. I don't think he would have had the same comment back to me. It's like, oh, Dad, that kind of fucked me up, that kind of thing. If it didn't look as good, and it looks really, really good.
Anyway,
yes,
right. So I have had a conversation with Wyndham about my thoughts about this. So I really want to hear from you. What did you think? What's your first memory of Critters?
First memory of Critters, I think I've only actually ever seen it once before this second viewing.
Shocking.
It is quite weird.
I've seen it loads of times.
It is quite weird. But I remember enjoying it. I remember laughing at it, but I didn't rush back to go and watch it again.
Sorry, we've both just had a massive roast dinner.
So if there's
our stomachs are
pauses,
really adjusting. It's
all right to have a pause, isn't it? They're all sat down anyway, I can tell.
They're probably roast dinner themselves.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I'm going to have a little look out the window again. Oh no, it's still doing it.
It's still the future.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's like the... Well, anyway, we won't go into it. I thought it was good. I had fun with it, and obviously we would have talked about it on the playground. So it was cool. But the second watching, this is what took me, which I imagine you're probably going on to.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. All right, fair enough. It starts off a bit slowly, but there's some good comedy in it. There's obviously that budget element to it, which is, you see the guy floating first of all.
Oh yes,
in space. But then the rest of the time you ever see that guy that's floating on this floating platform, you only see him from
the waist up.
Yeah. But that's endearing, intriguing. That's what you want from these films. You're going back to the 80s again, and it delivers on that. The bounty hunters turn up. They're really, really cool. One sort of thing that I thought, what's going on here? They're basically transporting the Crites to the prison to be destroyed. So, why didn't they just kill him? They killed two of them on the way
because there was too much trouble.
So it implies these people have standards. They have a process of which is
because you can't just if you arrest someone in America, you don't just kill them. You make them hang around to be killed.
Yeah, you take them to the asteroid and do it.
Never really understood why some people can be on death row for ages.
Yeah,
is
it because other people were talking about it? And
or is it a form of cruelty, like a form of torture that you don't really know when your number's up? Or is it because maybe they hope that one of them has a mystical healing quality about them that they could use?
I enjoyed that film.
I like that
film. I like that film. So I think the pace of it's really good. You go there into the farm after the critters make their break from the prison planet in their one-buttoned controlled spaceship
with their tiny little hands.
Yeah. And then we meet our boy and the guy that's hearing sounds and stuff, and you think he's drinking because he's got a drink problem, but he's drinking obviously to knock out the sounds that actually turn out to be quite correct.
Yes.
And then shit goes down in the farm slowly but surely. But I think it's funny. There's loads of funny stuff about it.
No, I misremembered just talking about the guy. I'm sure he went off with the bounty hunters to become a bounty hunter, but I think that might have happened in the sequel.
Right. Okay. Which I do actually have, because when you buy Critters, if you go on Amazon, you can't
get everything.
You can't buy one.
You have to have 4. Yeah.
Bargain.
Yeah. I quite like Critters 2 though.
Really?
Yeah. Whenever I think of Critters 2, I always think of there's a bit where Bradley Brown comes back in town and someone says Brad Brown's back in town.
It's a nice saying, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I had a name like that, so people would say that about me when I came in.
You'd just be going back into town all the time.
Just for that reason. Right. What did you not like about it?
I didn't like the fact that there was a really big point made when he took his really cool catapult away from him, his dad.
Oh yeah.
It's been a bit harsh on him. Give me that catapult. Yeah, I'm taking it. And locked him up in his room. And I thought, well, that catapult's obviously going to return back because there's loads of issues. The whole, the guy that's hearing the noises. There's a big thing about him when he shoots his sister in the bum.
Yes.
This catapult's important. This catapult's not important. This catapult doesn't arrive ever again. When the critter stuff's going down, that's obviously he's going to find that again.
Do they not, at the end, do they not catapult something into the ship?
Does he get his catapult out?
No, I think
he
they just
chucks,
throw it.
Yeah,
don't
he's
they?
got his big one in his pocket. So there's
Yeah.
a big thing about
and then
the
they
big
just
one.
do the alcohol
but
thing,
you do
don't
get
they?
the-
With the rag in it.
That's it.
I'm not convinced that actually works. Have you ever tried that? Don't try this at home. We should
a
try it.
barbecue wasn't lighting once, and I got some. It probably would have been Jack Daniels actually. Not my favourite.
No, but have you put some alcohol in a bottle and put a rag in the top and lit it?
No.
Nor have I.
Do
I've
you
seen
advise
many
it?
times. No, not at all. But
Listeners, try it. Write in and let us know.
let us know. Don't. What did you think of the puppetry?
It's basic. Really, really profoundly basic. I mean, when he first chucks a firecracker into one of the critters' mouths and it does this sway, it's wonderful, but really endearing. Really, really good. I forgot they got bigger as things go on. So I think that's a cool detail.
It does
I love
make
the spikes.
And I think someone made this point before, but because I couldn't understand why they weren't all big, but they may grow and shrink according to free will or food.
Free will or food?
Yeah.
I was just thinking food because they just like eat everything. They eat
a lot,
cars,
don't they?
cows. I don't know. Free will or food?
What about the cinematography? Because I quite liked it. So there was a bit, a couple of things that stuck out for me. There's a big shot of an eye in the spaceship, and then that turns into the waste disposal unit. I think it's I want to say fisheye, but I think I'm going into the future.
You are really giving. You are giving.
Yeah, but I thought I love this film, except you can't repair a house by the press of a button. It just doesn't work.
There's a lot of budget spent on that house blowing up. So there's loads of. I think this film's been made obviously by film fans as well. So you've got loads of references to other films. The house,
yes,
it exploding and then kind of coming back together is actually very reminiscent of Poltergeist when the house sort of pulls into a vortex.
It doesn't come back though, does it?
It doesn't come back, but it's kind of literally the opposite you see in this film of that. You see there's Ghostbusters, the back of Dad's bowling.
Yes, I like that
shirt.
little touch.
You've got the Ghostbuster thingy on there. You've got Close Encounters, obviously, with a drunk kind of first. This shit goes over his head, and you've got the city limit sign or whatever it is, the speed sign rattling. That's Close Encounters.
Obviously, Gremlins. We talked about that.
Gremlins. I see a bit of Terminator 2 in there, and this obviously was way before Terminator 2. But you got the cop that's dead underneath the car. And one of the bounty hunters can't decide on what sort of face he's going to adopt, so he chooses this dead cop's face. But it is actually a dead cop's face, with cuts and blue and all that shit. So it's funny. But yeah, I see a bit of Terminator in that. I did tell my wife that, and she's like, "Shut up, shut up, you idiot."
Well, the morphing bit, was good. All right then. So we're going to score it, but you can't give me your scores unless you write them down. Did you write them down?
I probably, let me see. Yeah.
You did?
Right, make, you got anything interesting to say?
Only that there's going to be a prequel to the Dark Crystal, a series coming soon.
Yeah, I told you about that. I
I'm
told you about
just
it in the
passing on
last
the knowledge
podcast. You want to listen to that? Oh, actually, I need to point out a massive faux pas on our last podcast. I'm so sorry.
another one.
And I actually probably shouldn't even say this out loud. But I said that the hairdo of Miss Sparrow in Donnie Darko was reminiscent of... Actually, that hairdo turns up in this film as well.
I do listen to you when you're talking.
No, you probably don't. Who's the name of the singer? Johnny
Cash.
In Critters, Johnny Steele.
Oh yeah,
Johnny Steele. So he has Miss Sparrow's hairdo as well, which I mentioned in the last podcast that it was reminiscent of David Bowie's hair in Legend.
But no, yes, and it's actually...
Whoa.
Oh, right,
what did I just say then?
Yeah,
David Bowie's hair...
in Legend, which he's not in at all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Labyrinth. What the hell is wrong with me? And actually, it turns out it's not even his hair, it's Pat Sharp's hair. Anyway, we've moved on. I've got my scores.
Ah, brilliant. All right, so I think I gave my scores.
Do you want my grand total? We don't need to...
Yeah, so just give us a grand total.
Oh, shit. Oh, now you're asking. Okay, apparently it's 52.
Great.
Can I say 51?
You can say anything you like because I have got the final score here.
Oh, right, okay.
Rattling some papers around. So it gives...
It's in a pile of paper. We've got to clean out this lighthouse.
so do.
This is like a tinderbox, because that lamp, that freaking lamp and that paper. And what the fuck's that over there? What's that?
Can't see.
Is that Pat Sharp's weed?
It's a bottle with some whiskey with a rag on the
Damn
top.
it! We're going to die. Actually, we'll try it. Let's try it.
Let's try it later. Right, so it gets a movie Lighthouse rating of 53, which puts it above Fahrenheit 451 and below Blood Feast.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
I'd have probably liked to have seen it above Blood Feast, but Wyndham scores things way too harshly.
Yeah, he's got standards. That
he
kid,
really
though.
does have standards.
Yeah.
Which one has he liked the most, do you think?
What one that he's liked the most?
Yeah.
I think he was a fan. Actually, no, I'm thinking about the future. I think he likes Donnie Darko.
I think
Stuff's gone weird. It's gone weird.
Right, I am going to interdimensionally splice these things together, and we're all going to be back in the same room.
I'm fading. I'm fading.
Hold on. Alright, so we're back with Starship Troopers. So let me give you a bit of information about this one. It was released in 1997. Director was Paul Verhoeven. Screenplay by...
Happy with that, Jay?
Yeah, is that the right way to say it?
I think it's Verhoeven, yeah, it's fine.
Screenplay by Edward Newmier and Robert A. Heinlein wrote the book. Box office, it took 105 million US. And notable actors, I've just got three here, but Casper Van Dien, Denise Richards, Dinah Meyer.
And Clancy Brown.
Yes.
Who was the Kurgan in Highlander.
We should mention who these people play.
Massively Michael
he played
Ironside.
Sergeant Zim, Clancy Brown.
And who is our brilliant actor?
Ironside.
Yeah.
Gene Razek is the character he plays, Michael Ironside, yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
From Scanners, from Total Recall.
Okay, so
good.
So there's 4 sequels, which included 2 live-action films, Starship Troopers 2, Hero of the Federation, Starship Troopers 3, Marauder, and 2 animated films, which I didn't know about, Starship Troopers Invasion and Starship Troopers Traitor of Mars.
So whereas Critters, I wasn't that interested in getting them 3, but I actually think I am a little bit interested in 2, 3 of Starship Troopers.
I have to
The
say,
animated, let's see how we do.
I didn't think a lot of Starship Troopers 2.
Oh, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay.
In every age, there is a cause worth fighting for. But in the future, the greatest threat to our survival will not be man at all.
Hey, kid, what's going on? It's war! We're going to war!
Now, the youth of tomorrow must travel across the stars to defend our world.
We are a generation commanded by fate to defend humankind.
Everyone fights, no one quits.
We are going in with first wave. You smash the entire area. You kill anything that has more than 2 legs. You get me? We get you, sir!
But they will face an enemy more devastating than any ever imagined.
Here they come!
Right, so let's start with our first time we saw this. Wood, do you want to kick us off?
All right. So, first time I would have seen it would probably have been a few years after it was released. Probably.
Definitely not before.
So on the
Definitely not before, no, that's true.
on the video tape.
Yeah, on the videotape rather than at the cinema. And it was one of those... So Verhoeven directed RoboCop and Total Recall, which are 2 of my favourite films. So from the director perspective, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to watch this kid's work. I like the way, the cut of his jib and the direction of his career.
Yeah.
And it caught me by surprise. It wasn't what I really expected, because those other 2 films are pretty serious. Maybe serious is the wrong word, because of,
they've got a traditional narrative, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly. But his whole approach to this was completely different, and the fact that it's
Comic book.
It's comic book. Absolutely, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, it was comic book. I wasn't expecting it, but loved it when I first saw it.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I was lucky enough. So we, me and Miguel, went to the cinema, a cinema that I got banned from. I actually worked there and they banned me.
Was it?
And I went there like
you
2
did.
years later and I was in the queue and went, I'm sorry, you're not allowed.
They still recognise you.
What did you do to get banned?
I was just, I worked there and I just...
What did you take?
I got grumpy with the supporting manager. She really got upset with me and she cried because basically I was stocking up a fridge with water and we'd run out.
Is this your fridge at home?
No, the fridge, the fridge at the cinema, and we'd run out of still water, flat water.
Yeah.
And she said, just fill it up with sparkling. I was like, yeah, but maybe we should just do like one part of the shelf, and when we get still, when it arrives, we'll put that in because I'll just have to take all this back out again. She went, just do it. And I went, okay. So I did it, and then literally probably about half hour later, the still water appeared. She went, oh Louis, can you put the still water in there? I was like, I kind of went, no, I told you. And then she started crying. Maybe I didn't say I told you. I don't know. I was bad for 2 years. Anyway, so we went to the cinema and I didn't know anything about it. Starship Troopers. I quite like sci-fi, whatever. It seems like quite good fun. And holy shit, this film's brilliant. I walked out of that cinema and so did my girl as well. This is definitely not a boys' film. You would think on paper this is 100% a boys' film. It's not. And she loved it as well. It was just great. I loved it.
Yeah, I saw it when we were at uni, I think. I've got quite a strong memory of seeing it in 101 and watching it with everyone really. And again, I loved it. Every minute of it. It's such a good film.
I never realised it was actually Van Hooven.
Yeah.
Any good?
Whatever.
Anyway, I didn't realise it was a Total Recall guy. Moreover, RoboCop guy. But then obviously when I realised that, it's screamingly obvious.
Yeah. Well, this guy is a world builder, isn't he?
Yeah. He did Showgirls, like. Just skip over that.
Okay. Never seen it. It was supposed to be bog awful. But apparently there's like some sex scene going on in a swimming pool with Carl McLaughlin and some woman that looks quite funny.
Don't know.
Okay.
I remember watching this first time round and thinking it was very postmodern. But watching it now, in a world we live in now with Trump and Putin and all that kind of stuff, it seems quite regular.
Yeah.
So this is back to the thing that you say. So this, you're absolutely right. It is more comic book, but it still retains the way he manages to do it. It still retains that seriousness about it. There's still a serious line through it.
So let's have a bit of a synopsis. What's it about?
Yeah. So basically, Earth. You get the feeling that Earth is unified, and there's a global federation.
Yeah,
effectively.
Because you've got Americans living in Buenos Aires.
Yeah, exactly. And so basically, there's this whole concept that in order to be a citizen, and in order to vote, you have to be a citizen. In order to be a citizen, you have to serve the Federation. And the easiest way to serve the Federation is by signing up to one of the arms of the military. And basically, somebody has discovered Clathu. Clandathu, where the bugs are, and they're basically arachnids that are hurling arachnid spore-laden meteors towards the Earth to blow up into the Earth and colonise the Earth, is the story you're told.
Which is great.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and that's the opening scene. So you've got the Federation Network, which is essentially like the internet
and
or
that's
TV.
Really their hope. All that kind of news.
That social commentary, that runs all the way through it, doesn't it? So do you want to know more? Is that the phrase?
Do you want to know more? Yeah. But you've got options as well, so it's kind of linked to that sort of internet thing. But so RoboCop, I think, was one of the first sort of major, big release films where it literally goes straight into the film. With RoboCop, you get this like sweeping camera shot of Detroit, and then it goes RoboCop, and then pow, you're into the film.
Yeah.
And this one, very, very similar. You get this drum roll, black screen, and I think it says a couple of things, so-and-so pictures, then Starship Troopers, then pow. Yeah. You've got the Federation Network, you're straight into that, that narrative straight away, which sets the scene in probably half a minute.
Right away. It's a propaganda film. The whole film is a propaganda film.
Yeah. And we meet the main characters. So Rico, Dizzy, Ibanez, even though I would have said it Ibanez.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a type of guitar, which is
it
not
is, it
an
is.
awful guitar.
That maybe is why I would call that. And the guy who goes on to be Jenkins, Neil Patrick Harris, is in it.
Which one's Doogie Howser MD?
Neil Patrick Harris.
Right, okay, yeah.
So we meet them coming towards the end of their high school. No, older than that. University.
Yeah, it's college.
But it's college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they know.
And he, Rico, Casper Van Dien, is clearly from a very well-to-do family, and they've got visions of him going to Harvard. But he's going out with Denise Richards' character, Ibanez.
Yeah.
And she wants to sign up to be a pilot.
Yeah.
So he signs up.
Just because of her.
But he's really shit at maths. Like, super shit. He's got 35%. Now, I don't know how hard that test was.
Yeah.
But that's not a great.
Yeah, so she got 95.
Yeah.
And he got 35. He checks his result. And then Doogie Howser's a dickhead.
Well,
he's such a dickhead.
But he's got psychic powers, or he's been selected because he's got.
He's got something because he can influence his ferret.
Yeah, his ferret to bite his mum.
Called the shittest dickhead's headiest name ever.
What's it called?
I can't even remember. It's like really dickheadish. You would not call your ferret Pokagalian or whatever it is.
Yeah.
What do we think about the performances? I personally thought they were all really well grounded. Everyone was slightly over the top.
Yeah.
Which
is
was
the point.
great. It fits it really perfectly well.
Yeah.
And it's just how it's 2 hours, that film, and it just flies by.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
And everything is just amped up, isn't it? So it's whereas ordinarily you'd look at those performances and kind of go, play it down, son. Come on.
Yeah.
That's the point. So that said, so really love Michael Ironside, who plays the teacher to begin with.
Yes.
So he's talking about citizenship, and he comes back towards the end of the film, heading up Razek's Roughnecks.
Yeah, because he's lost all his family, hasn't he? So he's got like, sod it. I was against the Corps, but now I'm all over it.
Well, he ended up killing someone inadvertently. Make him take that helmet off.
No, that was Rico.
That Rico.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Sorry, yeah, one second.
Well, no, I was just going to say on the performances that most of them are absolutely brilliant, considering what they're trying to achieve. I think the 2 weak links are Denise Richards.
Which one's she?
She's Ibanez.
Right, yeah.
The pilot. And Rico. Rico's all right. I'm not as offended.
See, I quite like both of those. They seem to match what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
they kind of match that character and what they're doing.
He's a bit of a tool.
She's a bit of an arsehole to him.
Yeah.
He's totally into her, and she's like, oh yeah, what else? Just tell me you love me. Try and emphasise. I love you. Bye. See ya. I'm off to the Corps. I'm going out with like the Han Solo replacement guy, the one that's been a real dickhead to you in your football match.
Yeah.
But so Rico's, he's not the brightest tool, so he quite naturally, and that's what I really love. So you've got those sort of uni issues, which I experienced. I was in with my girl, managed to get her luckily.
You didn't join the army, though, did you?
I didn't join the army, but
that's only because she didn't.
But then, so you
did go to Brighton.
I did.
It's making a lot more sense. And to Thailand.
But so you get these characters, and you find you quite they really well. They sort of set up what their kind of sort of skill set is, and they go off in their different directions into the core. So like games and theory. That's where Doogie Howser goes.
And which is military intelligence.
Military intelligence. Next time I see you, you'll be saluting me, kind of thing. That's cool.
And a real character development in that, because next time we see him, he's basically the Gestapo, isn't he?
Yeah.
I love the costumes in this one.
So that is, and then obviously because Rico's a bit of a dum dum, so he quite naturally goes to the core. The
mobile infantry.
Mobile infantry. That was it. Yeah.
Mobile infantry, maybe the man I am today.
But Dizzy goes to mobile infantry as well, so she's got.
But she went because he went.
Well, but there is a bit where he challenges her on that.
Yeah,
she throws a bit.
But
you never find out why it is if it isn't.
Yeah,
I believe her. I believe she genuinely went because she's got guts.
She bought the Federation and citizenship.
But they're all very likable characters. I thought really
was much better as a match for Rico than Ibanez.
I agree.
Yeah,
ever was.
And
she was much better as a.
She knew that, but she got fucked up.
She also got.
But that classic line. But I got to have you, Rico. brilliant.
But there's lots of things like that in it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it just fits the kind of tone.
good.
So when they go into the core, though, when you talk about the costumes, it's. But even before that, when you're at the university, you got this sort of sense of kind of the master race. Even though you have definitely lots of different cultures.
I don't think they're the good guys.
No.
Yeah, you don't get this feeling that they're the good guys.
You do get that feeling up until the point where Buenos Aires is destroyed by a meteor.
Yeah.
You're definitely in that kind of going, oh, are they blowing you up? Are you invading them? Or are they... What? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
This looks like a propaganda film.
And Rico didn't stay in the court for the right reasons. He stayed in the court because he just said to his mum and dad, "Can I come home? I hate it." They go, "Yeah." Made a bit of a mistake. He only stayed because his home got blown up.
Is that not a good reason?
Well, it is, but it's not a genuine.
It's not a.
It doesn't. It's not like he came to the decision independently and he went, "I've got to make this. I'm going to fight this through." It's like, I have no other option. Can I stay?
Yeah.
I can't even. Yeah.
But in the core, so they're basically dressed up like Nazis. So the fashion design that they've decided to do is the whole, like the grey cat with the eagle, but they've turned the eagle the upside down.
Black boots.
Massive black boots. I think you might even have black gloves.
That whole training bit reminded me a lot of Full Metal Jacket. Metal Jacket.
The training stuff's great, So once he's gone to the core and he's doing all the training stuff. You mentioned about the helmet bit. So this is, like the comic book stuff's going on. You're loving it, fantastic. But what's great with Vanuva, he can really kick you in the nuts with that violence, and that's just that little moment where some guy's running around this training exercise. My helmet's not working. Rico takes it off, and just one of the other guys. They're using live rounds, aren't they? And just puts a fucking bullet in his head. Even now, and I kind of did slightly forget that bit happens, but when I watched it now, I was like, whoa, shit, that's hardcore.
It opens with a load of that as well. So when you were saying about using the news network, it opens a year. It opens and then goes back a year, and that first scene is them on Klendathu or one of the surrounding planets, and a news reporter gets torn in half.
Yeah.
Sorry, my dog's trying to get in the room.
Does your dog want to get back in the room? He really does. Look at it. Look at his baleful eyes.
He only wants to get back in the room because he's not out of the room. All right, let's talk a little bit about the creature design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because again, I loved it. There was.
And Columbo is hosting the show.
So there were 4 or 5 different species of this insect, wasn't there?
Yeah, it's arachnid.
Bug.
That's another really good thing about this. So you kind of, I suppose I originally expected it just to be this one thing, like Alien, it's just one thing. But you've got, and obviously what nature is like, you'll have lots of different varieties of essentially kind of the same species within a species. So you have this huge, massive bug suddenly bursts out of the ground that's got this sort of fire-breathing talent.
Yeah, it's almost like lava. It's so hot.
Yeah, you have these little minion ones that
carry around the brain.
The brain one.
Oh yeah, like wood mice.
Yeah, yes, but
they have different blood, contrasting blood. So when one's covered in it, one's bright orange, one's bright green. Probably like paintballing in a way. They look like they've been paintballing.
Yeah,
it's just a really good design, really, to watch. It's great.
And the brain is an unpleasant looking thing.
It is, and it really, the whole film for me was summed up at the end when our psychic guy put his hand on it.
Doogie Howser.
What's his head? What's it thinking? What's it thinking? It's afraid, and everyone cheers.
Yeah.
All of that.
You kind of don't want to get too up it or up ourselves, but there is when with Verhoeven there is a fundamental point to everything, and his is that humans are fuckers.
Absolutely, there's a real message going with this. I don't know if you just eat brains, you can absorb the intelligence. Though
you don't know that.
Well, I've eaten.
Have you
eaten brains?
I've eaten sausages. But they're not brains.
So you've eaten arseholes.
If you had a sausage, you've basically eaten everything.
I love this film. It stands up today as well.
I agree. I think it does.
Just as strong today. Yeah. In fact, even more poignant, like I was saying, because of the whole political world we live in now.
Yeah. There was but that whole kind of comic book stuff, when Ibanez is flying the massive ship for the first time.
Yes.
And they're about to go into, I don't know, their version of warp.
Yeah.
And the countdown is 5, 4, ready, steady, go!
Is it?
I mean, they don't say quite like that.
Oh, right, okay.
What a weird countdown.
The other thing is when she's reversing out of the space lock, it's like, why does she need to do the turn? And like, she's reversing into space. Yeah. It's like, it's endless. Just keep going back.
But there are also some really lovely little, completely obviously deliberate, but when she's so... She basically is forming this relationship with this other guy, this good-looking flight captain dude. And
He's
the
not
best.
really particularly good-looking.
No.
He's like, you know, like a potato.
Yeah.
When you leave them a little bit and they sprout things.
Eyes everywhere. He's a bit like that.
His face reminds me of that.
Fair enough.
Like an old potato.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
You know it.
But he has a line where they're flying off through space. This is just before the meteor comes through to destroy Buenos Aires.
Mm.
And he's there going, where are we going? We're going in a different direction. What's happening? He said, she tells him, I've recalculated the route. I've optimised the route. We're going to get there quicker. And he says, 3 weeks aboard a starship and you think you can lick my navs? Which is just brilliant.
That is brilliant. All right, well, look, I think we should score it. Unless we've got anything else. Has anyone got a favourite standout scene? Oh, I wanted to mention the kids as well. Just the little slots with the kids. So there's one where they're just stamping on, again, the
bugs.
And then when they're giving out bullets, like sweets to the kids, they have like a load of bullets or something. Do you remember that?
I can't remember the bullet bit.
No, I can't remember the bullet bit.
Oh. I believe you. There was probably a bullet bit. I definitely remember the bug bit. But they were doing bit for the core in Silver DMs. The only thing that I wanted to add, so we talked about aliens a moment ago. This is kind of like an evolution of, you know, kind of that where you had Alien and the difference that they did with Aliens was that kind of sort of romp fun with guns and that. This film's, it's kind of got that evolution from Aliens.
Very
it's
fun.
A big affair.
Yeah.
That's kind of from that initial idea.
The insects, the CGI now looks brilliant.
Yeah, and there's a bit where
it definitely still stands up.
There's
it's such a fun watch.
There's a bit where one of they're attacking Plendathu or one of the surrounding planets, and they think it's a surprise attack, but the bugs know. And one of the massive starships gets split in half.
Yeah.
And that stands up still, the way you see the different decks within the body of the ship.
Yeah.
Very well done.
And when they're flying out of it, just little details. They go on like an escape pod.
Yeah.
And they're flying out through the debris, and just like a dead body smacks against the window. Little tiny detail like that. It's just it's got that kind of seriousness to it that it just plays perfectly.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's a good one.
All right, let's score it then. Okay, so performances, I've given it an 8.
I'm going to have to go with you. Yeah.
I'm going to have to go 7.
Okay. Effects, like I was just saying, 9 for me. It really stands up.
8.
Yeah, 8. Back just on the creatures as well. So Doogie Howser mentions in one of his Network Federation adverts, saying just a little tip: when you're shooting them, aim for the stem because you can shoot the crap out of it, but it's still 85% deadly, and you get that so many times in this film. They've shot the crap out of it.
Yeah.
But that is almost as if, bearing in mind they attack Plendathu under military intelligence, who know that it's not a surprise. They want to capture the brain.
Yeah.
It's like military intelligence aren't telling the mobile infantry to shoot the brain stem.
Yeah.
Because they don't. They're just blatting rounds all over this.
Yeah. Also, I suppose if there is a problem with it, it is, you have that brilliant ending where she's about to get her brain sucked out.
Yeah.
And then they get out.
Yeah.
And then they go, we capture the brain.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah, that was Sergeant Tim. Sergeant Tim. But he's established himself as being rock hard.
Yeah. But you just imagine, because they're really protective of that brain, and yet no insects were coming out to try and save it.
Exactly, yeah.
So maybe a little problem there.
Yeah.
All right, plot, Laurie.
7.
6.
9. Oh, plot's great.
No, it is a really, really good idea. But I'm worried about films that I really love that are
you can't judge.
No, right, I don't want to
wrong. Right, your vote doesn't count this week.
Oh, shit.
Right, rewatch factor, Wyndham.
7.
It's an 8. It's an 8. It's great.
Okay, direction, it's a 9 for me.
Yeah, it's a 9 for me too.
8 for me.
Cinematography, I'm going to give it an 8.
I'm going to go 6.
I'm going to go 6.
Laurie, sound and music.
It's good. The soundtrack though. You've got the.
It's really Robocop. That's Robocop. But it is very
That is
reminiscent.
Robocop.
That is
it's
Robocop.
also kind of Starship
Yeah,
Troopers.
it is really reminiscent. Yeah, they evidently use the same band.
Yeah, it's the same band. Yeah. I'm going to say 5. Just pedestrian. Well, not pedestrian, but it's just okay.
Oh, it's 6.
I went 5. Okay, Wyndham, originality.
7.
9.
8.
Enjoyability, Laurie.
Oh, it's 8.
8.
9. Life-changing past or present, I've given it an 8.
Wow. That's a 0.
I'll give it a 7.
A 0?
Yeah.
0?
Yeah.
Did it not have any impact on you?
James?
Yeah, but it's not I think we all have slightly different interpretations of life changing. And one day we're going to get a film where
we have a different interpretation.
Amaze you with the score.
All right, we're talking about being amazed with the score.
Yeah. Not just Robocop.
Oh, right, okay, yes.
Let's add our amazing scores up.
Do you want to know my score?
Not yet, because I've done mine yet. Right, I've done mine. All right. Wyndham, what did you get?
I gave it 63.
Okay, Laurie?
Oh, damn it. See, But to be honest, when we were going through it, I literally just bumped them down just a little bit because I didn't
What
want
did you give it?
74.
I gave it 82. Which gives it a movie Lighthouse appreciation rating of
219 in total.
Yeah.
Which equals 73.
73, good score, which puts it at the very top of our leaderboard, guys.
New leader.
No, really?
Yeah, I think it deserves
I think
a place there.
Whoa, Phantom of the freaking Paradise.
Yeah, you can't.
Great film, but it's 2 points ahead of that. I think this deserves to be up there.
I think. Yeah, I'm happy with it.
Yeah,
No, I'm not happy with that.
Oh.
That's it. Oh.
All right, well, look,
73.
I think we talked enough, so
We have.
let's find out what we're doing. Whose turn is it to
Is it
pick?
my rummage?
Yes.
I think it's
It
a rummage.
really is. It feels like you've done it for ages.
No, I know. Oh, that's because I did it and then you had it.
Okay.
Oh no, I did it again. Have you got your ball bag?
Of course, here
Ready
is
to
my
go?
fine ball. It's a bit sweaty today because of the hot weather. Would you like to do the honours and hold my ball bag, please?
This really is a group effort.
It really
I'm
is.
going to do it via a lunge. There you go.
Yeah.
You keep cutting it.
Got one. Okay. It is. Is it Key of the Door? 21!
Oh!
Good number, actually. Nice, strong number. 21.
I don't know if we're ever going to do a year again. All right, 21 is Animal Magic.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, well, I've already got my first choice.
Yeah, I think I've probably got the same one as you.
Am I replacing?
Yeah, they always get back in. All right,
Compliment the ball.
so we're going to make our choices and then we'll be back. All right, so we're back. We've got our choices for you, Wyndham.
I'm very excited. And I'd just like to point out, neither of you, for the listeners, neither of you used the assistance of any search engines or anything like that.
No, you use the power of silence and eyes looking down to the right.
Yeah, memory.
I touched my lips, I think, at
You
one
did
point.
once or twice, and mine, but that's right.
All right, well, my first choice is a little-known film called Jaws. Don't think it needs any more than that. Laurie?
Jaws is such a brilliant film. I'm going to say Cat's Eyes.
Stephen King.
Stephen King, Portmanteau.
Yes.
James Woods.
So once again, what you've done with that is screwed up the category by choosing something that's not really part of the category.
Animal Magic, Cat's Eyes. It's about a cat.
Is the film about a cat?
The film is about a freaking cat.
It's about
in 3 adventures involving the cat. They're cat-type stories. Do not influence the decision. This is Animal Magic. Is there magic in this film? Yes. Is there an animal in this film? Is it about the animal? Yes.
Okay. My second choice
freaking hell
is going to be Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which is about 8 years old now, I think, probably. So, not the original Planet of the Apes. I'm talking about the very first Planet of the Apes film of the remakes.
Yeah, with Mark Wahlberg.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that film very much.
Yeah, okay. Now, see, I've got 3 choices down here. My mind's thinking there's
You can
loads
only
of
say
really,
one.
really cool stuff. So, okay, one of them's another Stephen King,
Is that the one you're
and the
going
other
to
one
go for?
isn't.
Okay. Which one are you going to plump for?
Cujo. Stephen King.
Ooh.
The other one was Alligator.
I haven't seen Alligator. That was an interesting choice.
Okay.
Right.
Interesting. It's a fairly easy. I think it's fairly easy. Jaws, definitely.
Excellent.
Why don't you want any excuse to watch Jaws again?
I've seen it a fucking lot.
And
so much so, it made me scared of baths.
Yeah.
We'll talk about, all right, well, we'll talk about down to that next time.
carpets.
Okay,
Jaws made me
so-
scared of carpets.
I haven't seen. So the problem for me with Rise of the Planet of the Apes is Mark Wahlberg.
Right.
So not that. And I don't know.
Don't do it, or you're not going to ever get to pick again.
If you are thinking about choosing either of mine, it's that one.
No, don't. Do not be influenced, or you get disqualified.
You are always.
You're twisting it. You're pointing at the one you wanted to choose.
That's not twisting. That's like being direct. Yeah, there is 2. But out of my 2, that one.
You make me feel contrary now. Picking the other one.
Okay, no, you rock on.
I'm going to pick Cujo.
Okay.
Which was the one you wanted?
Cat's Eyes.
Well, actually, Cujo is a film about a dog.
That's right.
Whereas Cat's Eyes is not a film about a cat. When we get to Portmanteau, you can choose Cat's Eyes.
Well, it's
and we
also
can talk at length about
portmanteau.
it.
That's what you're worried about, because you've got something in your ball bag that says portmanteau, isn't you?
Well, yeah, because last time you chose Salem's Lot, which
So
was...
we've got Mario Bava. It's fine.
Right.
That's portmanteau.
Okay, well, I think that'll do. Well,
Yeah,
so next
perfect.
month, Jaws and
Cujo.
Yeah, I'm going down to these rocks and getting fucking Crusades off them bloody rocks. I'll see you later. Bye.
Cheers, everybody.
Yeah, see you later. Bye.